Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Everybody, welcome to Jackie's Groove. This is Jackie Bertoni, brought to you by EnterTalk Radio Network. You're into all things music. Guys, it's another Emerging Monday. And I got to tell you, I'm very, very proud of what we're doing to bring light to these newer artists that are making a hit in the industry. But today is really special to me, man, because today on my show and in my studio is not only an amazing, accomplished musician, but I'm going to consider him like my little brother. We've been through hell and back together in the 10 years we've known each other. But as I said before, he's my little brother with huge, huge talent and a huge future in front of him. So with that said, I want everybody to listen and with open arms and open ears. And welcome to Jackie's Groove, my dear friend, Mr. Salvatore Spinelli. Sal, welcome to Emerging Mondays and Jackie's Groove.
Jackie, thank you for having me. How are you?
Hey, man, you know what? Sal, I'm going to act like I don't even know you, okay? So with that said, I just want to make sure that we can play the part, but it's all about promotion today. It's all about what you've done, what you're doing, and what's in store for the future. So with that said, I'm just going to start out. The normal thing that I do is I want to you let the listening audience worldwide know about Sal Spinelli. Where were you born? Where were you raised?
Where was I born? Well, I was born, first of all, Jackie, it's nice to meet you. First time talking to you today. Thank you for having me here.
Okay. That's almost believable.
Born in the Bronx, New York.
Yes.
And, lived there for about 10 years between there, Poughkeepsie, New York, I guess. So I was never really a city boy, but moved to Florida and started playing music when I was in Florida, and then moved out here in '99. And that's where I got, both my feet got wet. Mostly out in California as far as all the cool stuff,
So, yeah. And when Caprice and I moved out here, my wife and I came out here, we'll be going on 11 years this coming December, which blows me out of the water. I wasn't really familiar with the music scene out here, coming from Orange County for 25 years and being a notable player myself and so on. I always get invited out to see different bands play and so on. And then people know me by now, and this is not by any stretch being cocky, but if I walk into a club and it takes me more than 10 seconds to understand what the cover band is playing, I normally will walk out. If you're going to cover somebody's music, do it right. And so I heard about this group called Master Splinter and the Shredders. And I said, you know what, man, I'm not really into death metal. I'm not into rock. And my friend of mine said, no. These guys are young, but they're a virtual deep library of great tunes. They're known for playing the B-side of the hit albums. So that intrigued me. So I went into a local venue, kind of sat in the back, and got the fucking shit kicked out of me. I mean, this band was up there nailing it. We're talking Zeppelin. We're talking, The Doors. We're talking Van Halen, stuff that you would not normally hear a band walking in. You're not going to hear 8675309 coming out of these guys. And so I enjoyed them so much. I watched them. Then they came back the following weekend and got knocked out even more. And then I was approached by the drummer at that time by the name of Anthony Raya, who will be coming up next month on Emerging Mondays. We'll talk more about that later. And he came up, introduced himself. He goes, man, it's nice to meet you. I'm a fan of your playing. And I said, wow. And he goes, what are you doing out here? And I said, well, my wife and I live out here. So there instilled, that was my first relationship with Anthony. And then I met this guy by the name of Sal Spinelli, the lead singer, who I thought was pretty much of a prick when I first met him, but I didn't realize he was shy. And then he and I became like instant friends. And to the fact that I would bring my equipment and play with these guys. In fact, the first song you heard, Travel On, was a song that your brother Jackie played on. In fact, I've been blessed to play on the last 2 Midnight Satellites albums, and thank you for that. So what I want everybody out there to check your local listings and so on, and also go to midnightsatellites.com. And and check out what these boys are playing, and also go there and also on Facebook and go to Midnight Satellites. And you definitely want to get a taste of these guys and what they do. And Sal, I want you to go back for a second. How much fun did you and I have along with the band back in the day when we played at the House of Blues in Los Angeles? Was that more fun than I could imagine that day?
You know, that was actually really fun because, first of all, we didn't think we'd be playing House of Blues Los Angeles. You know, we were just some little cover band just having fun in Temecula, and then you know, we're like, shit, let's play House of Blues. Let's do it. And you know what? Screw it. Let's have Jackie Bertoni play percussion out there. And it actually came to be. You know, we actually did it, and you did it with us. And man, that was awesome having you up there. First of all, not to
go ahead.
You know, not to kiss on that butt, but it was really cool having, you know, a guy like you who is full of just credibility, and your rap sheet of music involvement just is longer than I could read. And to have you on stage with us was really a blessing. It was really awesome. So thank you for doing that and everything you did with us.
And what made me sad about that evening also is you guys received an amazing message from the dearly departed and my dear friend Alphonse Mizan.
Oh yeah.
And go ahead and tell the audience what it was to be complimented by you covering one of his masterpieces.
So first of all, when Anthony Raya was in Master Splinter and the Shredders with us, he was a big influence as far as you know, introducing fusion and kind of fusion rock to us. And he said, why don't we cover this song called Mind Transplant by Alphonse Mizan? We're all, cool, let's do it. And you know, we saw the guys at the Baked Potato up in LA do it a few times, and it really inspired us. So we did it. It was even better because we had you on percussion doing it with us. It really filled it up. We put it on YouTube, and Alphonse was the first comment, and he's like, you know, thanks for covering my tune. Awesome job. And I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, Anthony, like, you know, you're a drummer, dude. This is like one of your gods. So yeah, it was really cool to see him say hello and kind of like pass his torch. It was really cool.
Hey, let's step back for a second. Let's talk about the Bronx. Growing up in the Bronx, at least the first 10 years, and then moving to Florida. I'm really, really curious, and so are the listeners out there, with your beautiful parents who are like my brother and sister, Sal Sr. and Louisa, and then your sister Dina and also Roseanne, and who are now back out of California, living in the other part of the woods called, I think, is it North Carolina?
North Carolina. They just got the eclipse.
North Carolina.
Yeah,
absolutely. And thank God this is over with. Now we can get back to showing what we had for lunch and how much we hate Trump. And that'll be the next show, of course. But when you grew up in the Bronx, what kind of music? What music was coming out of the speakers of the Spinelli household?
You know, my dad had some 8-tracks, and my mom was always she was always involved in music. She was a dance teacher when she was younger, and my dad was just a guy. You know, I just know he had his Rolling Stones, you know, little 7-inch you know, little whatever, you know, little records, and he had some Santana stuff, and you know, a lot of Michael Jackson, you know, and like some Hall & Oates, all just like popular rock stuff that was popular at that time, the late 70s, early 80s. So I heard that a lot.
And so was guitar your first instrument they called you, or what was your first instrument you picked up?
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess guitar was I was about 12 years old when I asked for my first guitar, you know, maybe 11 or 12. Yeah. And, I mean, I tinkered on a piano here and there, and I guess guitar was the first serious instrument.
When you asked for that guitar, was it met with trepidation from your mom and dad, or was it something they welcomed right away?
You know, they welcomed it because it wasn't a drum set. You know, they didn't have to be banging on, you know, or a violin or a trumpet. They actually got me an electric guitar, but they never got me an amp, so they didn't have to hear anything, you know. And then one day I said, why doesn't my guitar sound like any of the guitars I want it to sound like? So my dad says, well, you need an amplifier. And, you know, he brought me to this, I'm going to make this dramatic. He brought me to this very dark basement in a building in New York. And, he gave me this.
They all are.
They all are dark. There were some bodies piled up in the corner, and he actually.
It's your listening audience.
He gave me this look, and he says, "I want to show you this." And he pulled across this curtain, and from behind this curtain rolled out this beautiful, small Ampeg amplifier. And in fact, if you're watching on Facebook Live, I'm gonna actually take the phone here because I have this amplifier sitting right next to me. I'll show it to you. That right there is a 1968 Ampeg Reverb Rocket 2, and yeah, that was my first amp. So then I plugged it in, and it was smoking from there.
The rest is history, as they say. And Sal, you being an educator, you being a teacher, also a vocal teacher at Riffs here in Temecula, Temecula, Marietta. I want to make sure I get the city right, and that's RIFFS, Riffs and Music.
RIFFS.
Okay, and I bring that up because I always tell people, and I always talked about the notables, that I tell that when I'm trying to get some basic education out there to parents listening that aren't really on the fence about their kids playing music. I always say, do not force an instrument down your child's voice. Take them to a Guitar Center or an Amoeba Music or the like, and let the instrument call the child. Do you agree with me on that, Sal?
Yeah. I mean, if a kid wants to play an instrument, put the instrument in the hand.
Right.
Some kids, I tell you, just from teaching, if they don't want to play the instrument, they're not going to do anything. They're not going to practice. They're not going to learn anything. They're not going to care, and it's going to be a tough time for the teacher and the student.
Right.
So, yeah, if they want to play an instrument, let them play it. I wouldn't, I would expose your children to different instruments. Maybe put them in front of piano, put them in front of a guitar, in front of a drum set, and whatever they gravitate towards, awesome. There's been some people that have brought their kids here, and they'll start on guitar, and then there'll be a piano in the room, and they'll just start tinkering on the piano, and that's what's going to be interesting to them. And the same thing with a drum set, just see what they gravitate towards and let them have fun with it.
That's the main thing. Sal, we all talked about, growing up in the business itself, paying it forward and so on, and being inspired by the likes of blah, blah, blah. But I want to ask this question too, because we really never got into this deeply because we always spent so much time talking about what we do together. Right. I know one of your major influences is a friend of mine and a friend through you, in which I had the privilege of interviewing him and also bringing you in the studio with us. And that gentleman's name is Richie Kotzen. I have now become an absolute, not only are we friends, we talk on a normal basis, but I've become a massive, massive fan of this man's playing. Other than Richie being one of your inspirations, who else basically knocked you out? Who instilled the passion and the styles of playing that come out of Sal's fingers?
Oh man, there's a lot. It depends on the day, I suppose. But
okay,
whether they're solo artists or just guitar players in bands. Of course, when I was younger, the dude James and Kirk of Metallica stole my heavy metal part. But I was always, speaking about being captivated by an artist, Eric Johnson, Santana when I was young, David Gilmour, John Frusciante. Yeah, I mean, all those guys kind of shaped how I played, then when I got in my 20s, you had, just a bunch of random bands. But when YouTube came out and I started diving into the YouTube abyss, you just start finding all these players who blow your mind. Absolutely. And you're like, holy crap, I know nothing. And Richie popped up in one of my things, and I gravitated towards his style, or it kind of caught my eye because he wasn't only a great guitar player, but he was really a good singer. He was a great singer, and he kind of blended some really good soulful rock singing with his guitar, and that's what brought me there. But
for those out there that aren't familiar with Richie, I want you to go on and look at Richie Kotzen. This is not about Richie Kotzen today, but Richie, to me, his voice reminds you and almost parallels that of Chris Cornell. If you agree or disagree, but when you hear it, you'll think about Chris, another gentleman that left this earth, way too early. And and those inspirations go deep with Sal, because not only is Sal into guitar players, but you're also in all the full realm of players. I just had on, was it last Friday, or I think Friday last week sometime, I had my good friend, and I'm name dropping, but one of the most prolific guitar players of our time, Al Di Meola. Al is, as he said, fusion is in a state of confusion. People are still trying to figure out what's there, and he's doing everything he possibly can to keep it alive. Now, with that said, I know your styles, Sal, but have you ever dabbled in fusion? Do you understand that? Anything that you want to share with the listening audience?
Yeah, as far as fusion goes, to get some stuff out there, like I said, Anthony Raya kind of introduced us to, what fusion was, and he brought us up to the Baked Potato one day, which is a little jammy jazz club. You could probably fit 100 people in there up in Studio City.
Still in business.
And I remember we actually talked about, you got your first, you started paying dues up there, back in
Absolutely.
the 70s and stuff. And it was nice to relate to you about that. But, seeing guys like Jamie Kime and John Ziegler and like all these, I saw Chris Coleman there and, Arlen Oscar, like all these guys, what they're doing. Like when I went up there, me and the other guys in MSATs, we were just looking at each other like, holy shit, what is this, Mm-hmm. And then, man, like, so fusion actually, I started being a real big fan of fusion about 10 years ago. And, I consider myself still a very novice fusion player, but I love listening.
But man, and I love it too, because the whole idea of fusion, meaning it's a fusion of different genres of music put into, to one crux, one vibe all the way around. And, it's a very, very difficult instrument or a groove to play with because there's so much going on. Jazz, straight ahead jazz, contemporary jazz, rock, heavy metal if you want to throw that together. And we're going to pick up that more because, Sal, you see how fast the first segment, we've only got 45 seconds off the first segment's rolling by, and we've got to touch on what you're currently doing. And when we come back on the second segment, we're going to feature a new song that you guys are going to be the first ones to hear out there by Nick Syward, my personal friend, a great drummer and the cousin to Mr. Todd Serkerman from the group Styx and the current drummer for Midnight Satellites. And this song coming up is going to feature Sal on vocals. And I heard a little tidbit a little while ago. It's a departure from what you guys normally play. I got to tell you, it was refreshing, for the lack of a better word. So with that said, with our group and family of friends out here in the Temecula Valley that are definitely smiling and have shared the posts of Sal coming up today, we're going to pick it up. We're going to give a little shout out to them also too, and we'll talk more about that in depth. So when we get back on segment number 2 of Jackie's Groove, this is Jackie Bertoni. We're brought to you by EnterTalk Radio Network into all things music, and I'm proud and privileged to talk to my little brother today on the show, Mr. Salvatore Spinelli. Guys, don't go anywhere. Segment 2 coming up around the corner. You don't want to miss it there. Stay tuned.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on EnterTalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
The Moyer Entertainment Group, in conjunction with the Dario, Radio Airplay, and Looploft, is keeping music in our local schools and presenting local talent to the world through the Temecula Valley Music Awards. Submissions for entry into the TVMA 2017 season are now open in all genres, including a youth category for artists under 18 for the October 7th Star-Studded Awards Show, where 100% of the proceeds go towards supporting local music education in the Temecula Valley. Details, tvmawards.org.
Make this your vinyl night. I'm John J.R. Robinson, and every week, music creation comes alive through stories, experiences, and sounds when vinyl records filled our hearts and minds. My friends and I share our tips and techniques used in creation of iconic tracks for recording artists such as Michael Jackson, Eric Clapton, Quincy Jones, and Steve Winwood, to name a few. Vinyl has emerged hot, and the soul of vinyl defines art and passion which burns deepest at night. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on EnterTalkRadio.com.
Todd Zuckerman from the rock band Styx, and you're listening to my pal Jackie Bertoni on Jackie's Groove. Groove on, motherfuckers.
Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Man, we got to be careful with that because with our notoriety worldwide right now, we're getting nailed on a daily basis from a wonderful thing called the YouTube police. So I don't want to put Sal and the guys in any jeopardy, and we don't want to put ourselves in any more jeopardy. And we're actually having a meeting with them this week with the sales representative because people are recognizing that our network is huge and it's getting stronger. So with that said, let's get back, guys. Welcome back to segment number 2, Jackie's Groove. I'm Jackie Bertoni, and you're brought to you by the EnterTalk Radio Network. You're into all things music. And you guys do yourselves a favor. When you can't listen to our show live, go on to iTunes or Google and download our easy-to-use and our easy-to-use navigated website. I'm having a hell of a time talking today. 2 words called EnterTalk, second one radio, and take Jackie's Groove and the plethora of shows with us on the road when you can't listen to us live. So with that said, welcome back, Sal. Sal, that song, man, I want to give the shout out to Nick, and I want you to go ahead and take it right now. Talk about the song, talk about the title, talk about the inspiration, and tell me about the players that were on that tune.
All right. First of all, I would like to say hi to all the Facebook Live people. Matt Giangrande, I do love you, so I am shouting out to you. There you go. Yeah, you know what? That's really a special song for a few different reasons. You know, Midnight Satellites, we have our thing going and stuff, and then Nick was dialing his studio, and he's like, hey, man, I wrote a bunch of songs. I don't know what I want to do with them, but would you be interested in, singing on some stuff? And I'm like, of course, man, absolutely. Right. So he sent some stuff over, and, he's got a bunch of songs he's worked on and he's composed. And I'm actually really proud of Nick because coming from a person that doesn't, for up to a couple years ago, hasn't really played guitar, hasn't played piano, hasn't done anything. He just dove into songwriting with 100% of his time and started playing piano and started understanding songwriting. And basically he hired some of his friends, some of the people in our local music community to come up and help him out and make his songs come to life. And on this particular song, the reason I put some vocals on this one first is it really, I was sitting at home and I put it on, and I like to put my headphones on and just see what grabs me. I'm not really going to try to write a song. I'm not going to forge an inspiration. So if it touches me in a way, then then it just comes out. So this particular song really, really inspired me, and the words came out in a matter of 20, 30 minutes. Just kind of had to arrange them. The melodies came out really quick, and I told Nick, I'm like, dude, Nick, I got this song, man. I felt really inspired. I don't know what you did, but the emotion really, it really came to me. And he's like, you know what? I'm really glad you said that. When I was playing the drums, I had an emotional experience with it. So, it was really cool because I'm glad it was an emotional song for him. And, as far as the players go, I believe Martin Cueto, played guitar on it, and Ryan Kilpatrick, he played bass. Nick played drums and piano on it, and I came up to Nick's studio after I bounced him some demos of what I thought sounded cool, and he loved it, and we put the vocals down in I think we were there for 2 hours and sang my ass off, and I really am proud of the song.
As you always do. And give me the title of the song for the listeners out there, Al?
The song is "It's So Hard to Say Goodbye," and basically what the song is about. It's I've been married for a few years now, and when you're in a position to provide and take care of another person, sometimes you feel pressure to do that, and you want to succeed and you want to get better and better at what you do. And the song is pretty much about everybody, I think, feels that moment where like, oh shit, like I'm not doing the best I could do to help out this person. So maybe I should just go. That stupid emotion everybody gets. Not that I'd ever leave my wife, but you think about movies and how they always say, So anyway, so I just rolled with that feeling and wrote the song, and it was about that feeling you get when you feel like you're the one you're with is so deserving of something good that you want them to have the best. So that's what it's about.
And I want to give a shout out to my girl Lauren Giangrande Spinelli. When I first met, when this woman stole this man's heart and took him off the market, there was a lot of girls with their zippers half-mast, and I say that with tongue in cheek. And the fact is, Sal goes, you got to meet this girl. You really got to meet this girl. And I got to tell you, we were privileged because Sal wanted to make his pilgrimage out to L.A. For what fucking reason, I have no idea, because you don't have to be in the circuit out there to be in the circuit. And those musicians out there know exactly what I'm talking about. So Sal's longevity in L.A. lasted probably about 2.5 months. And during that time, we were talking at a family get-together, and Sal was going to, seek out an apartment when he came back here. And my wife says, why would you go out and go through the expense? Why don't you just stay with us? We have a big home and have an extra room. And so we had a good time, man. We had a really, really good time. We grew closer, of course. And then with Sal's mom and dad, Sal and Luisa, you always want to make sure that your offspring are taken care of and to be put in a good situation. But it was great. We not only are we brothers, but we're musically inclined, and we shared a lot of situations coming up. And we're talking about fan-wise. A lot of people want to know why your wife doesn't always come out to the shows, why my wife always doesn't come out to the shows. Look, they have seen us in the best. They've seen us in the worst. And the fact of the matter is, they know who they're married to. And and so the fact for the listeners out there, it's not that and Lauren doesn't want to come out to the shows. She lives with this man. She lives and breathes with this man, so she doesn't have to come out and wave that flag. Hey, everybody, I'm Sal's wife. She's a busy individual, professional herself. So for the answer to the questions out there, she doesn't come out, not because she's not a fan, because she doesn't have to. And that's the same thing with my wife also. Yeah, it doesn't matter. She knows who she's married to. And I do want to say this, we were so blessed to throw an engagement party here for Sal and Lauren and just to be part of this whole situation, Lauren's 30th birthday. And we do that because we're family. And that's the beautiful thing about this. And with the situation of Sal being going on to over 3 years already, I can't believe it's actually passed that fast.
That's right.
And that situation was so much. Go ahead.
And I was going to say she works really hard. Cappy works hard. Your wife too, and most of my musician brothers, their wives, they work really really hard. So. If you don't see them at the show, it's because they're tired and they work all day. Yeah, probably harder than us.
It's the old joke of what do you call a single musician, and the answer is homeless. And so that whole thing about putting their best foot forward. Lauren kicks ass for a company. Go ahead, and I would give her a free plug. Magnetic, which is a great advertising company, and Lauren is the one responsible for so much of that company. How this woman is managing this guy named Sal, and also her job, and she should be sainted as my wife should be also. So with that said, brother, let's go back to the new projects coming out itself. I want to know, is there what's on the plate? What's in the future for Midnight Satellites, or MSATs as they're better known? Does MSATs have legs? Do you want to share with us itself? Are we still a cohesive unit? What's the vibe? What's the vibe?
Well, we excuse me. Well, we put out a couple little CDs and releases, as because you were part of them as our numero uno percussion player. But we've been a band for we're going on 10 years, and we've wrote a lot of stuff together. We've had some member changes and whatnot. So we've seen ups, we've seen downs. The last release we put out, the Past, Presence, Future, we invested so much of everything into it, as far as time and energy and financial, aspects. And we dove in and, when you dive into anything with everything you have for a year and a half,
of course,
you need a little break. So we just did the shows, after that, cover shows and original shows and blended shows like that. And, last year, Mike Garza joined the band, and he's a phenomenal bass player. And, so we have a lot of stuff, a lot of original material in the vaults. We just haven't been as inspired to go into the studio and record them just yet. However, each of us is doing our own thing respectively. Just like the project. Yeah. We just don't write music for one band, Nick is jumping on his, original content, and it's really, really good. And, hopefully he'll be telling you more about that. He's got a lot of cool surprises coming up, and, Brennan, he's doing his own thing. He's got, his reunited Dark Haven project going,
right.
Which is good because, everybody's always wanted them to get back together. And, he's got his own project he's recording, and, Mike Garza, he's in a bunch of great bands, and, he does
Mike needs mental help. Mike needs to be helped. That man is touched slightly. Let me tell you, for those who don't know Mike Garza, I don't think I've ever seen Mike take a picture without his fingers up like he's holding a bowling ball upside down, and a look on his face like someone just stepped on his scrotum. And that's why I love this brother. And I also want to make everybody out there and want everybody to understand out there, just because Ryan Kilpatrick exited Midnight Satellites, Master Splinter, the Shredders, please understand it and don't get this twisted. They are all family. They're all musical brothers. There's no disarray. There's no hatred. There's a certain time in life when it's time to move on. And so for those people out there with the big question mark over their heads, that's a family, man. And, that's never going to change. So for any little rumors are out there, they're all happy, they're all in love, and they're all brothers. And that's the bottom line. And I'm gonna spotlight over the next couple months all the players in this band, including, I won't even mention who else I'm including. But with that said, now, are you? Here's a tough question, brother. Are you still having fun in the shoes of the front man for MSATs, Master Splinter the Shredders / Midnight Satellites? Be honest with us.
Absolutely. Just recently, everybody goes through their ruts, like, oh man, I really don't want to play tonight, but as soon as you get on the stage, you're like, I love playing. What am I talking about? But recently there's been like a re-energizing of myself. I've been putting the guitar down a lot more live and just trying to get on the microphone as a front man and just trying to have fun in that way. And so every show we do, we just try to make things more fun to keep it fresh. We actually have a random show happening on Friday, if you don't mind me talking about that.
Share it, brother. Share with us.
All right. So I randomly entered us. I'm making words. I entered us in some contest for Viejas Casino, and was opening for a band, and I didn't know what band it was at the time, and I didn't know the day, but turns out we're playing the show at Viejas Casino this Friday, and we're opening for O-Town.
The O-Town. Correct me if I'm wrong, brother.
Yes. The O-Town.
I don't know how in the hell they're going to even share the stage with you guys. I mean, you guys are gonna blow the stage up as opposed to a boy band. But go ahead and enlighten the listeners.
So it'll be fun. Basically, what it is, it's this thing where we go down and we play with another band, and you get all your friends and family to make noise. You win $5,000 if you whatever.
Absolutely.
And it'll be fun. Whatever. So yeah, if you guys want to come down there, it's at Viejas Casino. It's free, I believe, and I think it's 21 and up. And anyway, so that'll be two boy bands that I've played with. I just want to point that out. I never sought out to play with a boy band, but I believe in 2011 or 12 with Samuel Larsen, we played Perez Hilton's birthday party, and Backstreet Boys played, and that was a very interesting time as well. And
let me share something. For those who don't remember Sam Larsen, Sam was that gorgeous looking guy, and this is no homo involved, but he had a full season on Glee. I'll be the first one to admit that, yes, I watched Glee through protest because my wife was addicted to it. And then every time I would post something with a picture of Sal, myself, and Sam, every young girl came out of the woodwork. Actually, it kind of made me feel disgusted because I was doing that. And Sam, if you're out there listening, brother, I'd like to have you come on also and find out what's going on with your career. We won't talk about that right now, but I do love the fact of, the stuff that you did with Sam. That one song that I love where you guys did the whistling. Correct me, what song and title that was? And what was the name of the group?
That was Bridges I Burn.
Right.
Sam and Skip Arnold. Yeah.
I want to say one thing too, Sal, and I'm going to be steadfast on this in this last minute. Yeah. I always push you, man, because you guys out there, if you've seen Sal, and I'm not talking about Sal and Brennan or Sal Brennan, and either Nick or with Anthony, Corrado, but to hear Sal in a situation where it's just him on guitar, and when he's busting out stuff on Clapton or James Taylor and so on, I'm going to tell you this, brother, you've got to step into that. I know I've always fought you with this. And, just something that just you and I, just on guitar and percussion. Yeah. To me, that is the sexiest it's going to be, man. And, we talk about it, but both of our schedules don't always allow us. And the close what your brother's been in the last year that's recovering from my fucking back surgery. I'm back, and it feels good to be better than I've been in a long time. And when you
welcome back.
Yeah, man, thank you. And so with that said, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to welcome back the listening audience on segment number 3, the last segment in a 1-hour show. And you know what, Sal, I'm going to extend the olive branch to you. And as my brother, anytime you've got something coming out, we want to go ahead and extend the olive branch and have you come back. So with that said, we're going to have you come back on segment number 3. And it's all about your promotion on this last segment. So guys, Jackie Bertoni, Jackie's Groove, on EnterTalk Radio Network, you're into all things music with my in-studio brother, Mr. Salvatore Spinelli. Guys, don't go anywhere. Right back after the short break. Don't.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on EnterTalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element. Affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on EnterTalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Make this your vinyl night. I'm John J.R. Robinson, and every week, music creation comes alive through stories, experiences, and sounds when vinyl records filled our hearts and minds. My friends and I share our tips and techniques used in creation of iconic tracks for recording artists such as Michael Jackson, Eric Clapton, Quincy Jones, and Steve Winwood, to name a few. Vinyl has emerged hot, and the soul of vinyl defines art and passion which burns deepest at night. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on EnterTalkRadio.com.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Hi, this is Michael McDonald, and you're listening to my good buddy Jackie Bertoni on Jackie's Groove.
Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
For you.
Everybody, welcome back to the last segment number 3 of a 1-hour interview on Emerging Mondays with my brother, Mr. Salvatore Spinelli. Guys, before I go on any further, I want to give a shout out to the people that keep these lights on, and those are our sponsors, our ever gracious sponsors and generous sponsors, such as Pitbull Audio, Calvin Lee and the Motley Crew over at Pitbull Audio. They just want you to play it loud, and you can reach them at pitbullaudio.com. Also, someone that Sal and myself are very familiar with, and that is called Studio Instrument Rentals, better known as SIR in the industry. That's SIR-USA.com for all of your backline needs and all of your studio rehearsal needs, and people that I'm most biased to. My drum stick company of choice for the past 24 years, Vater Percussion, that's VATER.com, and also my cymbals of choice, that's Sabian Cymbals. You can reach them at SABIAN.com. I'm celebrating 24 years with them, and also our newer sponsors, Drum Workshop, DWDrums.com, and then, of course, people that I'm most biased to, celebrating 28 years, who believe in my career, probably more than I do, but that is a group called LP Music, and you can reach them at lpmusic.com, the number one percussion corporation in the world. So with that said, I hear the cash register going off in the back. Salvatore, Sal, yes. Mr. Good Looking, Mr. Model, Mr. All About Town. Hey, man, I want to take a second here and also let the listening audience out there know that, we live in a community out here in the Temecula Valley, in the wine country, that is laden with some serious fucking musicians. And I want to give a shout out to my brother, which I love because he's older than I am, and I got to give him respect. And that gentleman's name is Larry Vineyard. So, Larry, if you're listening, man, know that one day you and I will share the stage together. We've only had a chance to do that with Sal's music and so on, but one of these days we'll do it together. And other great artists like Tim Moyer, who is so involved with the Temecula Valley music scene also, and heads up a great consortium of musicians at NAMM, the Winter NAMM here in Anaheim, at the third week of this coming 2018 January. Joanna Pearl. There's just so many. Lindsay Carrier. The list goes down the line. So you guys always go to my Facebook page, and that's Jackie Bertoni, or Jackie Bertoni Music, or Jackie's Groove. And I'm always promoting all the local talent. So you guys, I want you guys to check that out. And speaking of local talent, I don't know how in the hell this is going to segue, but the fearless leader of our network, who's like my brother, he always comes on and he always does a little bit of business, gives me a chance to stretch my legs. With that said, you know him, I know him, we all love him. Florentino, say hi to Salvatore. Sal, say hi to Florentino.
What's going on, Mr. Sal?
Florentino, the man with the best name in the business.
Best.
Yeah. Hey, you said that same thing to me when we first met over at Radio Ban Diego stage when we brought you over there. So I guess it continues on till this day. That's pretty awesome.
Absolutely. It is truth, and I repeat the truth.
Yes, you are a truthful man, and I've enjoyed watching you guys grow, and you especially, man. You're such an incredible talent, a guitar player, a singer. You had all the girls that work over here all aflutter with your pictures and stuff like that. So, triple threat, looks, talent, brains, it's all there. So,
thank you.
You're welcome, bro.
The older I get, the more I appreciate the brains comment. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hey, man, when you start to get to be my age, you start to think, I'm all brains. Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff.
Absolutely.
Hey, man, it's been a long time since you've been on EnterTalk Radio. In fact, we weren't even EnterTalk Radio back then. We were just we were part of the WS Radio Networks, which we're still. That's our sister station. But you were, you and the boys and Joanna were, had a featured performance with us over at the NAMM Museum of Making Music. We did that thing there. So the last song, I know it intimately because that was one of the the fan favorites from your performance there at the NAMM show. In fact, Jackie, if he wasn't off doing things like recording major hit albums, was supposed to be there too. But we hadn't had a chance. We hadn't had a chance to meet yet then Jackie. But we did a little bit later on, not too long after that, and then now we're all fast friends. So
yeah, absolutely,
very cool. Hey, brother, you know what? This is all about sharing what's going on, and obviously a lot of people know who you are. We've been seeing a lot of the the feedback on all of our Facebook posts and all the other things that we put out, and everyone loves you, but not everybody knows how to find out about you, especially people who are listening in that are just tuning in and haven't really experienced all that is Sal. How can people find out about you, brother?
Well, first of all, thank you for all those kind words. Thank you very much. If you have a PayPal account, I'll donate to your kindness. But if you want to go check out anything that I do, I'm starting to get in the habit of updating it frequently. But salvatorespinelli.com. You can find all my personal things, and that pertains to music. You can find me on Facebook and the Instagrams, just my name, Salvatore Spinelli. And anything Midnight Satellites is doing, just go to midnightsatellites.com. And so you can keep up with us on the Facebook and the .com stuff.
Do we have let me jump in here. Do we have the URL for Nick's studio? Sal, do you have it off the top of your head?
I think it's Soundtown Records. Let me just type it in because it's always in my queue. Soundtownrecords.com. And Nick's got an incredible studio. So
you definitely want to check this guy out. It's Chino Hills, and it's worth every penny, which will be a lot less than having to travel out to fucking Los Angeles. So patronize my boy there. And by the way, I'm going to say it again, Nick Syward, who is the cousin of my dear friend, that is a gentleman by the name of Todd Zuckerman, the drummer from the iconic rock group called Styx. So, I mean, I talk to Todd more than Nick will ever think of talking. I don't understand that, but that's okay. So with that said, Nicky, we're here for you, man. We're here to stand. And Nicky's going to be a new daddy. So congratulations to that situation also. And for those who didn't know it, Nick, I'm sorry, but the cat's out of the bag, my friend. And so with that said, Sal, let's get back to it. Florentino, get the hell off my radio station. And
it's your radio station now. I see how.
Sorry, my show on your radio station. So we're gonna pick up this last situation
good,
on. All right, baby boy.
We're all part of the same family, man. So it's all good. Sal, love you, brother. You keep rocking it up, man, and we'll keep supporting you because you've been family for a long since the start of the station, man. So it's all good.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good time, gentlemen.
Yeah, right, baby. So Sal, let me ask you this question, brother. And I've got to ask this question. Actually, it's a question that Cappy came up with, and the listeners and love it, and more importantly, the interviewees love it also. I'm going to throw it to you right now. Yeah. If you were not in the genre or in the whole scheme of music, teaching, performing, writing, etc., nothing about music at all, what would Sal be doing in his life right now?
Well, I went to school because I wanted to do like athletic training and stuff with sports rehab and stuff, and I eventually went to go be an EMT and just never applied for the job. I did awesome in the class, so I'd probably be doing something medical, like maybe a paramedic or something like that, because I did really well in the medical study thing for as far as I got. But that's what I'd probably be doing.
And here's my
joking.
Yeah, and here's my question. I always want to know, because I know emphatically where I was and what I was doing and my emotions, how they were crazy. Yeah. But let me ask you this question. I'm going to throw it back to you for a second. Where were you? What were you doing? And what song was it the first time Sal heard himself on the radio? Share with us.
Oh, man. The very first time I was on the radio was in 1990. I want to say 1998. 1998. It was Fort Myers, Florida. And I was in a band with another local musician named Scott Williams from the Get Down Party.
Boy.
Yeah, it was myself and Scott and my buddy Fred and Skip and Jay. And we were in a band called Downinside. And Fort Myers at the time was a really musically budding city. And they let local bands on the radio. It was like, I forget, 99X. It was like... And they put us on the radio, and I was like, there's a song called 2 Hits and Pass It. And I was like, holy shit, like our song's on the radio. This is cool. But that was my first experience with that. And, it's pretty trippy.
Let me tell you, brother, it never gets old. I've said this over and over again. I could be coming out of a bathroom at McDonald's in Barstow on the way to Vegas, and I'll hear Baby I Love Your Way or something out of the Beach Boys. And I stopped. Now, before I wanted to sit there and throw a flag and, fireworks up. But now, in my advanced age, I just sit there and I smile. People probably think I'm pervish right there or I have to go pee again. But the fact of the matter is it never gets old to hear it. Even though it's not me as the solo artist, but definitely is the percussionist on those tunes. It's amazing, man. And what we do, Sal, we're touched. We're touched as musicians, and I'm saying that with tongue in cheek. we're a little strange. And I'm going to throw it back to you for being even more strange for being a front man. I haven't met a front man in my life that hasn't just been hit with that strain stick and so on. But at the same time, too, you have education behind you. You know, and I want to ask this question, man, and I want you to be honest with me. When someone comes and sees Sal Spinelli / Midnight Satellite / Master Splinter and the Shredders, what do you hope that they take away with them when they leave the venue?
Well, I always hope they feel some sort of, emotion of, some sort of happiness, I guess you want to say, at the end of the show. Like, my favorite shows that I go to when I leave, the ones I remember, the ones that I'm like, holy shit, what was that? That was just an amazing show. And I know, not all of our shows, people are going to leave like that, but hopefully that's how they leave most of our shows. Just a feeling of like, that was really good musicianship, or I really dug their songs, or I really felt what they were trying to do. And, whether they like the music itself or not, if they feel our energy and they feel our vibe and they can go, yeah, I respect that band. I like that band. I like the night. I like the show. I like their song choices. They played well together, or, that's what I could hope for.
Yeah. And that's a good hope because, when you look at it, Sal, I mean, you're on that cusp of being a quote unquote millennial. And, and I hate that word. Trust me when I tell you, it's a new area of young people who've never spent money on music. Mm-hmm. And it's upsetting, and I asked a lot of these old cronies like Jay King and Brian Alexander Morgan, these two of the most prolific producers in the late 80s, early 90s on massive hits worldwide. And I thought for sure these gentlemen, when I asked the question about the music business or the lack thereof, what they thought about it. I mean, when I had the pleasure of interviewing the dearly departed Al Jarreau, and I asked Al the question about, is he optimistic or pessimistic about the music business as it sits? And he said to me with his beautiful eyes, he said, I'm nervous. And he explained by saying he was nervous not for himself, because the man is a wealthy, wealthy person, and thanks to the publishing. And even with Michael McDonald, the same situation. These guys never have to work again, but they do it to keep their bands moving. But they're both, when they say nervous or frightened, it's not because of them, but it's because of the young guys, you, coming up in this industry. And you've been around the music business even as a younger cat, and you've seen the demise of record stores. You've just seen the demise of actual holding a tangible unit like called a CD in your hand. Everything's a digital download right now. So with that said, share with the listeners and share with me also, what's your stand with the music business? Are you optimistic? Are you pessimistic?
Well, I'm pretty much optimistic. The cool thing about now is that with technology and all the things a young musician can get, you're able to create some sort of music, some sort of recording that you could put out there and everybody could hear it. And, when I was growing up, it was all like, let's record this on a crappy tape in the garage, and we'll have to save $10,000 to record a halfway decent recording, and then we have to burn CDs for people to hear it and whatever. But the fact that everybody can get the music out there and be heard as an artist is really cool. As far as the financial standpoint, where you want to recoup your loans and this and that, or you want to, it's still in such a gray area. You still have to market yourself if you want to get it out there. You still got to dump a lot of money into it to make it happen. But the music industry as a whole is still very young.
Absolutely.
It's less than 100 years old. It's a relatively new thing in humanity. So I think it'll work itself out as far as being beneficial to both the artist and the listener. That being said, I really, really do support whatever music I like. I'll try to buy a shirt. I'll download a CD. I'll give something to the artist creating it, because as an artist, I know to put out something, it's going to take time and it's going to take money. And, you at least want the artist to be able to recoup or at least get something back from his time spent. Absolutely. And the only reason I say that, is because, it takes X amount of dollars and X amount of hours to record a song and make it nice and, make it listenable and, whatever. But, then all of a sudden people see that person go away and they're like, man, why aren't you coming out with new music? I'm like, oh man, well, they don't have any more time or money to record it, So I try to support everybody I can, and I think everybody should support, you don't have to make people, superstars and, extravagant lifestyles. Just help them record their own music. That's all. We've gotten a lot of help by some very, very generous friends of ours. And we actually have a nice little group of people that support us and they help us out. So I'm forever grateful for that. And I just hope that, other circles of friends in the world do that for each other like it's been done for us.
Sal, 1 minute left, and the clock is flashing. Give a quick shout out to the people who support you in the way of equipment. Go ahead and give a lineage of who you're using.
Yes, I would personally like to thank Jonathan Moody over at GHS Strings because he's an awesome dude. Greg Auger over at Zemitis Guitars, Anthony Sierra at Sierra Guitars, Keith Sticks at Tsunami Cables, Jackie and Florentino over at EnterTalk Radio. My wife's company actually is really badass at branding, and they've actually helped out a lot. So Magnetic Creative, thank you for your help. Yeah. And Rip
Sal, thank you.
Yeah.
Baby, thank you for being part of Emerging Mondays, brother.
Wait, hold on. Darren Mercer. Sorry, go ahead.
There you go. No worries. Thanks for fucking up my flow here. But thank you for being part of this, brother. I love you. You'll always be part of this family. You've now officially been jumped in. There's no way of getting out. So with that said, I want everybody to applaud and thank Mr. Salvatore Spinelli for being part of Emerging Mondays. Guys, Jackie Bertoni, Jackie's Groove Box, your EnterTalk Radio Network. You're into all things music. We'll talk to you during the week. Thanks so much for your support. As I always say, peace through music. I love you, Sal.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al Di Meola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear from Eclectica Studios. I'm a full-time mixing and recording engineer. I work with Grammy winners, labels, and indie artists, using state-of-the-art digital mixing and restoration tools and the very best in analog gear. Really, though, it's my ability to bring tracks to life and fulfill your vision for your music. This has made me sought after by producers and artists worldwide. So spend your time working on music and not chasing a mix down a rabbit hole. Go to timdolbear.com and check out our free one-song mix offer.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on EnterTalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.